Hello everyone, my name is David. Thank you for watching today. Thanks for joining me. This is my question and answer videos that I do every single Monday, and I'm answering you guys' questions from the last question and answer video. Anything you guys want to ask me anything. Go down below into the comment section, ask me anything you want. Seriously, I don't mind, and I will answer all of your questions next Monday. I want to welcome new subscribers. The channel's still growing, so thank you for subscribing and supporting what I'm doing here. Thank you very much and welcome. So please ask questions. Major part of healing is understanding what happened to you. So let's try to make sense of what happened instead of leaving it up to our depressed minds to tell us how bad we are. Why don't we find out the truth that we are not bad, that we're good people just trying to meet our emotional needs. Okay, so ask questions, guys. Something I like to do every single week is recommend something to you. Something for your healing, your recovery from emotional abuse. I think a lot of you guys probably have CPTSD out there, dealing with post-trauma, post-stress. And I found something that I think will be really good. I don't know anybody personally that's had or has tried this, but it's just something herbal. So it's safe. It's safe for me to recommend. And I think it seems really good. It's got some active ingredients, all herbal. It's got seeds and roots and all kinds of different stuff. I was gonna tell you guys what it has in it, but there's so many different things. I have no idea how to even pronounce them, and so many of them. So I'm just gonna put a link down in the description box for you guys to go check out if you're interested. So this is called Quiet Mind, and it's made by Herbalogic. Comes in a liquid or pill form for $15.95. It's to help what Buddhists call quiet the monkey mind. Traditionally used for coping with restless nerves, racing thoughts, panic attacks, or hyperactivity. Something that is just really right there explains so much of CPTSD, doesn't it? I'm sure all of you guys have dealt with something along those lines. So this might help you. Anyone that takes it, please let me know what you think of it, how it helps you. Like I said, some of the ingredients in it I know are good for us and that you guys could really use. So that's how I found that. So let's get started with the questions. All I ask you guys, please ask me anything you want, but leave locations. Tell us where you guys are at. Anywhere. Be general. Don't be too specific. But a lot of us in this, doing this and trying to find answers, we also feel pretty alone, pretty lonely. You might feel like you're the only one that's going through this. Nobody understands you. And I want you to know that's not true, that there's so many people in this world that are being affected by this, just like you. And it reaches everywhere in the world, wherever there's human beings. So please tell us your locations, guys, okay? Thank you. First question is from Rebecca from cold Vancouver Island. Hello, Rebecca. I had severe anxiety that is almost gone. Do our bodies instinctively know that they are narcissists before our minds catch on? Oh, so you want to know, do our bodies instinctively know that they are narcissists before our minds catch on and we don't see it until we're discarded? So, big question here, right? There's so much involved in this, but you're close to what I think. What I agree, you're kind of onto something here. Our emotions is our bodies doing things, and these red flags. So many people talk about red flags is, you know, what we saw someone do, but it doesn't matter what people do, and what you think is wrong, somebody else might think is okay. So it's all up to you. It's up to each of us. And if something that somebody does makes us uncomfortable or we don't like, it hurts us, all these things, we need to do something about it. And if we're dating people that abused us, that hurt us, that don't treat us well, we have low self-worth. Okay? That's just it, period. And so we will see something, right? And we see them do something, but it makes us feel bad. It makes us scared. It makes us uneasy, worried, doubt, these kinds of negative feelings, and we don't do something about it. We ignore it. We excuse it. Right? And so that's what I'm talking about. Why are we ignoring red flags? Why, if our body is uncomfortable at what somebody does, why do we keep being around them and not fix it, not say something, right? So it's about how we feel about ourselves, right? Do you see that? This is about shame. We're ashamed of ourselves if we let people hurt us. And people don't even like to admit it, that somebody hurt us. Or somebody hurt us the same way 10 times in a row and I never did anything about it. I never stopped it. I kept sleeping with them. I kept letting them in my home, in my house, in my heart, in my brain. You know what I mean? I didn't do it. I didn't stop it. So everything eventually is our choice. It's not our fault that somebody abuses us, hurts us, mistreats us. It's not our fault. But if we don't stop it, if it's 5 times, 10 times, and we don't do anything, or we just say, please stop, but we just allow it, they keep doing it. That shows how we feel about ourselves. Our self-worth is low. It's low. And that's from shame. I hope that makes sense. But you're on to something. I mean, you're right. Your bodies instinctively know, not that they're narcissists, but it's not up to me. It's not up to my body. What if, something that your boyfriend might have done, your ex-boyfriend might have done to you, you may not like. It may make you feel uncomfortable. It may not make me feel uncomfortable. Right? So it's not that my body knows who narcissists are. It's, I don't like someone lying to me. I need security. And so when somebody that I'm dating takes that security away from me and talks about Lisa at work and says he's going out to lunch, or say a girl I'm dating is dating or saying she's going out to a guy, out to lunch with a guy named John from work, then that makes me feel insecure, no security. I can't allow that. If I have high self-worth, I will not allow that to happen. Right? I'll say, I'm sorry, but I don't want you to go out with John. It makes me feel insecure. I have high self-worth and I deserve better than that. I don't deserve my girlfriends to go out to lunch with men. And it's about how I feel. And if I excuse it, if it makes me feel uncomfortable that she's going out to lunch with John and I don't say anything, or I say something and she does it anyways, and I just say, oh, screw it, okay, and I keep dating, I keep dating her, and she keeps going out with John again, or never apologizes and says, that's wrong, I'm sorry, I did that, I won't do it ever again. You see, it's about how I feel, and I need to do something about it. Okay, so if your ex-boyfriend did something that made you feel uncomfortable, I know you could think of a time where he did, and you didn't speak up. You weren't firm. You said, don't do that. He did it anyways. You said, okay. Right? Something to that effect. I hope that makes sense. But you're right. Your body will tell you. Your body will tell you what you're comfortable and uncomfortable with. That's what boundaries are. Boundaries are a way of communicating what I'm comfortable with and not comfortable with. Okay? Next question is from Joanna in London. Hello. As an adult of severe child abuse, I continue to blame myself for the abuse I suffered from the ex-narcissist. I believe I deserve the abuse. I now blame myself. How do we stop it? And I try to shorten these down, Joanna, so I know you went into it more detailed. And you understand. Now, this is about shame, what I was just talking about. So let me explain to you something I've said before, but I want to say it again. So I always tell a story to help people understand what shame is. I try to tell a story that tells you what the difference between shame and guilt is. So imagine a 10-year-old boy is in his bedroom, and his father comes home, goes up to his room, enters his room, and he spanks his 10-year-old little boy and leaves the room and doesn't say anything. What happens is that little boy believes that he is a bad person. I'm a bad boy. If the father comes in and tells him, son, you did something wrong today. You crossed the busy street that we told you aren't allowed to cross and it's dangerous. And we have to give you a punishment for that. That requires punishment. we're going to spank you. And I don't even believe in spanking, but spank you. He spanks his little boy and says, don't cross the street again. I don't want to spank you again. Go and play, right? Now, that's guilt. He did a bad thing. And it's over, right? So that's the difference between guilt and shame is I'm a bad person or I did a bad thing. The little boy who was spanked and the father told him what he did, he just did a bad thing, and that's guilt. And then when his father spanked him and walked out of the room and didn't tell him anything, he believed he was a bad person, and that is shame. So Joanna, you carry a certain amount of shame. And child abuse means shame. I'm a bad person. Trauma equals shame. I'm a bad person. I don't understand why my parents abused me. I don't understand the trauma surrounding me that I experienced in my life. Doesn't make sense to me at 4, at 7, at 13. I don't understand that. Until my parents make me feel really good about it and secure about it and explain it to me and help me understand that it's not my fault, that I'm not a bad person, then that's exactly how I'm going to feel. I'm a bad person. So Joanna, you still are suffering from your child abuse and believe that you're a bad person still. There's still things that you need to heal from, understand. And I do that with clients. I start taking them back and help you understand your parents, what they've been through. You start seeing eye to eye with your parents, that they're human beings. That's why you got in a relationship with someone like this. And that's why the abuse happened and you probably didn't stop it soon enough. And this is why you feel like you deserve the abuse. So when people treat us badly enough, we believe we're bad people. And then bad people deserve to be treated badly. There's a lot of work that needs to be done here, Joanna. You asked me, how do we stop it? So I don't think this is going to be something that you're going to do by yourself very well. So I would ask and seek out the help that you need. Okay? Seek out and find the help that you need to eliminate shame and start believing that you're a good person. Start finding out and discovering and seeing that beautiful person inside you, who you are. Okay? If we feel this way, anybody out there feels this way about themselves, it's not true. It's not true. You guys watching right now feel like bad people. It's not true. The truth doesn't hurt. That saying the truth hurts is BS. It's BS. Your narcissist has made you believe bad things about you that aren't true, and it hurts. And the truth is you're a beautiful, good person, all of you. That's the truth. Doesn't hurt. I hope I helped you understand a little bit. It's real simple. People have treated you badly, you believe you're a bad person. And we measure it by our boundaries. How good are you helping? How good are you making people not hurt you? Not very, right? People that think like, oh no, I got good boundaries, and I know they don't. I know their self-worth is low, and they want to argue with me and be like, no, I got great boundaries and stuff. Wait till somebody asks you for help, or somebody asks you for money, or somebody asks you for things, and you can't just say no. It's a good way to find out that I'm right. If you wonder about yourself, you're like, I wonder what my self-worth is. So we know that we put boundaries up, and we expect people to respect those boundaries, right? And not step over them. But wait for when people ask you, if you're a good person, you get a heart. People ask you for help, even if it's a homeless ask you for a quarter or something. You'll do everything you can to give it to them. Or you'll say no, and you'll apologize, and you'll come up with excuses, and you'll come up with reasons, and you'll just never stop. And that's a measure of how you feel about yourself, because no isn't good enough. That's how we feel if we have low self-worth. Then when we tell people our opinions, we believe it's not good enough. If we tell people no, it's not good enough. And it's hard for us to ask for help or accept it. It can be. Not always, but it can be. Keep asking questions, but find the help you need, okay? Good luck. Vero, I don't know where you're from, and if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. V-E-R-O. Please tell us your locations, people. Thank you. Why do narcissists change every time they come back? He treats me like an acquaintance now instead of someone he has been with for 5 years. So you dated this guy for 5 years, and now immediately afterwards he treats you like an acquaintance. My advice is don't let him treat you any way at all. Don't see this person, don't talk to this person, don't look at this person, don't check up on this person, don't ask about this person, nothing. This is more damaging to you. I see that it is. I see that it bothers you how he treats you. Your self-worth is a product of how he's treating you right now. Oh, I'm not good enough. He says I'm not good enough. You might really feel like you're not good enough. I don't know. I hope not. But that's probably what's going on. So why, your question, why do they change every time they come back? So I'm guessing you mean break up and get back together, stuff like that, right? Instead of go on vacation and come back, you mean break up and get back together and they seem like they're different people, right? Their personality changes, who they are changes. It's because people with personality disorders, especially narcissistic personality disorder, do not have a clear, actualized, defined self. And it's really hard to explain this to victims of abuse because they've compromised their self too. So they don't have a real, defined, clear self. They aren't in good touch with who they are right now. You guys have compromised yourself so much, you might feel like you've lost yourself, lost who you are, not stable. So if I don't know who I am, and this is, look, narcissists, they don't value morals. If you have an ex that you believe is a narcissist, what morals did they value? And I don't care what they said. What did they do? They say loyalty is important to them. I think they mean you being loyal to them, but they're not loyal to you, so it's not important to them. You can't say that. You can't just say things are important to you and not do them. Right? So people that do that don't know who they are. People that don't value any morals at all don't have a very clear conscious self, do they? So if I don't have a very good, clear self, know who I am, in touch with this person who I am, I'm not stable. I'm unstable. I change. I mimic. I copy. I mirror. I hear something, some cool little saying I hear someone saying, I think that's so cool. So I start repeating it all the time. Kind of like kids, right? You notice how kids in fashion and little dumb sayings and, little things, I'm going to wear my whatever, wear my thing this way. And then so every kid wears it this way, right? We kind of do that less as we get older, hopefully. But that's why. Little kids don't know who they are. Neither do narcissists. Right? So, I remember when I was a little kid, man, I think I was like 13 or 12, and I'd have like a mohawk, and then I'd have, a nice haircut, and 6 months later, and then I'd have like, I did change all the time, right? I was a skater, and then I liked punk music, and then I liked, different alternative, and just totally changed. Don't know who I am. Unstable. So I changed a lot. That's why. Hope that makes sense. Keep asking questions if it does not. And where are we at here? We got more time. Flavia, don't know where you're from. Please tell us your locations, people. Thank you. I feel guilty for having exposed my children to a narcissistic stepfather. My kids are now healing, but you're still worried. You didn't have a question, but I just wanted to read that. That's got to be awfully hard to deal with. I'm sure. I tried to think of ways to help you feel better about it, but I want you to know something. You are not responsible for what this man did to your children. We're responsible and accountable for all of our own actions. And I know that you decided to let him in the house and let him in your heart and let him close to the children, but you had good intentions, Mom. You have a good heart. You may have had a void that you're looking to fill. So fill this void before you meet and date any more men. Learn what I'm talking about. But you didn't do anything that he did to your children, okay? You're not responsible for that, Mom. And I'm so sorry you feel guilty. Find a way to forgive yourself. Look in the mirror and look at yourself and forgive yourself and say, I'm sorry. And it's going to hurt. But I hope it feels better because you didn't do it. Okay? You made a mistake. And so the only thing we do with mistakes is we can't feel bad. We just don't do them again. So there's probably more to learn. Keep learning and you'll feel better. That's got to be tough, I'm sure. And I'm so sorry. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Okay? You didn't do it. And there's a lot to learn. So learn so that you don't make the same mistake. And help your children not make that mistake in their adult life too. Maybe if mom learns everything there is to learn, that maybe your children will learn. And they don't have to go and make the same mistake that you did. Okay? I would do that. Look in the mirror. I've done it. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done. It's so hard. When I really started finding myself and realizing how I've been treating myself and I've let others treat me, I apologize. And boy, it's going to be tough, but I highly recommend it. It'll help you. I promise. I'm going to save these last few questions for part 2. I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 6. Yeah, part 2. Thank you, everybody. If you can help what I'm doing, support my work, please. You guys know how you feel. And just know that there's all kinds of people, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands, tens, hundreds, maybe millions of people suffering like you are or have been. And they don't find the information. They often will commit suicide. You guys could save lives by just pushing a few buttons. You could subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you can vote thumbs up or down and leave comments and share and post this video in different places. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in part 2. Love yourself first. Goodbye.